Hey, what's up? Just want to talk about a concept that I call WEED FEED and RESEED. I think out of all the people that I've spoke with or read about or had some kind of communication that were med-free, that used various protocols, these concepts always seem to appear again and again. And that's really led me to believe that these concepts really are the fundamentals to becoming med-free. I remember when I was looking for a cure, when I was sick and I had my first big flare shortly after I was diagnosed and I got my first colonoscopy, I literally scanned the internet. I looked as much information as I could. I bought every book that I could off of Amazon. I wrote authors. I tried to speak with authors. Reports off the internet, people's websites. I contacted everybody that you can imagine, at least that would return my calls, messages, emails, you name it. But when I started to jot down pretty much the important things that each person was doing in the protocols, I put this big piece of paper up on my wall and I wrote them all down. So for each protocol I would write things down, and as I learned of a new protocol I would do the same thing. So I had a full chart towards the end. But when I was looking at this, I started seeing a whole bunch of similarities. I seen, okay, well, this concept, they might have used different things, but the concept of WEED feed and RESEED seemed to always be present. Literally, that's all I did, is I played connect the dots. I correlated these things, and I was like, wow, you know what? This must be important. Literally, it must be important, because why would a lot of these people that were med-free constantly have this WEED feed and RESEED thing that were present in their protocols? So I want to just quickly describe, in my opinion, how I look at them, or at least my interpretation of what I believe these things to be. First of all, WEED, because we know, I think, with some amount of certainty that people with IBDs do suffer from some kind of bacterial imbalance, where the bad bacteria is really dominating the GI tract. So I do think that a primary focus should be to kill the bad bacteria. And and you can do this with things like low carbohydrate diets, or I would call carbohydrate reduction. And the diets probably would be things like SCD diet and the GAPS diet, and I know sometimes the paleo diet. So also another thing is very important. I say to add an antibacterial such as colloidal silver or oil of oregano. Those would probably be your best bets. I think things probably garlic and other things, whether it be grapeseed extract, a lot of the other things that are on the market, I'm not familiar with those, so I can't comment on those. But do I think if you tried some of those and they work, great. But I'm only going to speak on what I know of and from my observations and my experience. So if you want more information to exactly what I used and what brands and stuff like that, just visit my site, IBD Resource Center, and there'll be more information under that section on my website. And in regards to feed, I think it's really important to repopulate the good bacteria, so you can create that balance again that's definitely gone missing, due to the excessive amount of bad bacteria. So if you wanna reseed your gut with the beneficial bacteria, you can do these through good probiotics and things like colostrum, and probiotics again the things that I mentioned, but colostrum is another great one. SCD legal yogurt. Again, for the specifics, check my website. These things definitely will greatly help you rebuild the good guys. I remember going through some of this stuff, and I didn't want to try yogurts, and I didn't want to try certain probiotics. It definitely held me back in my healing process. So I think if you were to go back and add things, especially things like colostrum and the probiotics, I think they would definitely increase your success on various protocols. And then reseed, it's ultimately pretty simple. It's really just to continue to reseed your gut with beneficial bacteria, and that's through the things that I mentioned in the feed section, and also to include things like fermented cabbage and other fermented products that you can do, such as wine. I'm not familiar 100% with raw milk due to its legality. I can't get it where I'm from, so I've never been able to try it, and I'm sort of a cause and effect guy. I like to try things, but that would be at your own risk. If you choose to try that and give it a shot and it works, definitely write me with how it affected you, and pros and cons, etc. Or leave comments to this video, because the more feedback we receive, the more that we can help people ultimately. And I think another thing that you can also do is like retention enemas. If you wanted to do a retention enema once or twice a year, I think that also adds a lot to your, I don't know, just to continue to repopulate and reseed that good bacteria. So like, just to summarize all this stuff, like I really do believe these are the fundamentals. You know, I didn't go crazy into detail exactly what I was doing. Again, that information is on my website. You can click below, you can check the link, it will take you to that information, you can see a little bit more. But I know for some people that might be listening to this video or watching this video, thinking, you know what, I don't really believe in a lot of what this guy's about, or perhaps different strokes, different folks, you're interested in something else. I still really sincerely urge the people that do suffer from IBDs to try to incorporate like the WEED feed and RESEED concept into your healing strategy. I do think that it will increase your chances of becoming med-free and living a better life. You know, so give it a shot. Really, what do you have to lose? Good luck. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, what's up? If you thought this video was awesome, informative, and hopefully inspiring, and you want to learn more about IBD issues, alternative treatments, and how others have overcome their disease to live amazing med-free lives, then click the link below to visit my site.